One scoop for me, please.
Right, well, it is pretty early here on the homestead, and we are doing one of my favorite things today, which is canning. It has been hard negatives pretty much all week long, so we took the time to go into our pantry and our freezers and our apothecary and kind of take stock on everything we have, and I came across a bunch of wild blueberries that we had foraged and put up to be frozen, so I'm gonna jam those up. And then we also have some moose meat, and we're gonna make a chili out of that and pressure can that. We're excited. We're gonna take this day, this cold day, and kind of stock the pantry and get to canning a little bit. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix my berries, my honey, my lemon, and a little cinnamon in here. We are gonna quadruple this recipe. We're gonna simmer this jam down about 20 minutes and then ladle them into our nice wash jars. This jam recipe, if you're under 1,000 feet in elevation, is processed for 10 minutes. We are above 1,000 feet in elevation. We're actually above 2,000 feet in elevation, so we are gonna process this for 15 minutes. When you water bath can, that is just for things with a pH of 4.6 or lower. So that's jams, jellies, pickles, tomatoes, that sort of thing. Anything that is not a high acid food, so like bone broth, salmon, moose, any sort of meat, chicken, soups and stews needs to be pressure canned. But for water bath canning, it is very easy. You don't need to go out and buy a canner. All you need is a large deep stock pot with a lid, and you put a rack in the bottom. And you are just gonna cover the jars with at least an inch of boiling water and process them like that. We're gonna make a little catnip tea while we can these up. Catnip is not just for cats, so it's pretty interchangeable with peppermint. So it's a nice cooling herb. It settles your stomach. It's a nice calming tea. Catnip is a good one for your garden because it is a perennial and it comes back year after year. It's also in a blend I use to help reduce fevers, so a cool down tea I call it. Jam has been going for 20 minutes. It is nice and jammed up and delicious looking. My jars are ready to be filled. I'm gonna fill this up to a 1/4 inch headspace, then check for air bubbles, wipe the rims clean, and just finger tighten the lids on. You don't wanna overly tighten your canning lids because you wanna make sure after you're processing that that seal is staying on there and that lid is staying on there because of a good seal and not because you tighten them really tight. You always want to make sure you have at least an inch covering your canning jars. We're gonna do one more round in here. So those are all nice and settled in there. As soon as that gets to a rolling boil, we'll start timing and wait till it's done. We have about one more round after that, and while we're waiting and processing these, we're gonna get started on the chili.
Okay, our meat's all browned up now. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding the rest of this stuff.
I'll tell you when.
Making this chili always gets me excited for summer in Alaska. We love to take this on road trips, camping. It's great just to throw it in your car, bring some bread with you, and you have pre-made lunches and dinners. Your adventures around the state, there's not always food nearby, so it's good to have a good home-cooked meal.
These have been going for 15 minutes in our water bath canner. I'm ready to take them out and let them cool on the counter. And then I'm gonna pop my next batch in. When you do take your jars out of the canner, you don't wanna mess with them a whole lot. You kinda just wanna let them sit evenly spaced out from each other and leave them for about 12 hours, and then I go and I check the seal, and if for some reason the seals didn't go, or I'll just reprocess them at that point. But you will hear the seal buckle if it has not already. It makes a little ping sound. And then we are going to reuse some of the water from the water bath canner to put in our pressure canner, because you need a couple inches of water on the bottom of that canner. So we went ahead and filled up the bottom of our pressure canner with a couple inches of water. The directions for your canner may be different than mine. Mine is an all-American pressure canner. And that is the first step with these babies. So I put a rack in the bottom, filled it up with a couple inches of water. I'm waiting on my chili to finish simmering, a couple more minutes simmering for the chili. And then I'm gonna ladle that chili into my nicely washed pint mason jars, leaving 1 inch headspace. Check it for air bubbles just like we did the jam, and then wipe the rim clean and finger tighten the lids on. Then these are gonna go in here in the pressure canner for 75 minutes. So I'm gonna tighten this lid on the same way you would tighten on a tire. One end and then the exact opposite end, kind of keeping an eye on the space here in between the lid and the canner and making sure it's somewhat even. I am gonna vent steam out of this steam pipe first for 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna throw my weight on here at 15 pounds pressure. When this jiggles anywhere between 1 and 4 times a minute, I will start my processing time of 75 minutes. I'm gonna make a quick flatbread to go with dinner. I just used some sourdough discard, some flour, and some water. Just getting the sourdough off Lena's hands. I think
Okay, we're ready to try some of this moose chili. We got the can that couldn't fit in the pressure canner. Got some flatbread here, and we're gonna give it a go. How much chili you want, Lee? Still warm. So 1 pint is about a meal for all 3 of us. We have about 14 pints in the canner, 14 dinners for all 3 of us, which is great. You want bread?
Yeah.
Bread for Lena, bread for Mama, bread for Daddy. Taste test? Yeah, it's good chili.
Okay, so these have been going for 75 minutes. I have turned the heat off, and I'm gonna wait until that pressure gauge reads 0 before I take my weight off and take the lid off. So they look great. I love big batches of stuff coming out of the canner. So this is a solid 2 weeks worth of dinners for us. So we're really happy with this. I would say this winter's day canning on the homestead was a success.
And they look great.
So tomorrow's supposed to be the first day that's above 0 in about a week. So I'm gonna take the opportunity to go underneath the house and add an outlet and add a switch to that outlet, so I have some lights under there. And I'm also gonna put a switch on the motion sensor light, because when it's really windy, it just stays on. We'll get a switch on it so I can shut it off on the windy days and save a little energy. Junctioned in really nice, which is unfortunate. I gotta take it apart. That's a neutral wire. So this wire is the wire that needs to go. So I'm not an electrician. In order to get an electrician up here would be fairly pricey. I have a basic understanding of how to wire a house, seeing how I've done a few of ours, but I do it out of necessity here. I got this all pre-wired up. Now all I'll have to do is when I go underneath the house, I'll just cut the wire under the house. I'll run it in here to the outlet box. Then it will run a little farther into the switch. Be able to turn the motion sensor light on and off, but you'll still have this outlet for me to plug other lights into under the house so I can see what I'm doing under there. Hello, ladies. So we had our first real cool nights of winter here. It was -45, -50 for about 3 or 4 days. It's just starting to warm up now. I think we're probably around the -5, -6 degree mark. So I'm just curious. I'm gonna go ahead and go see if this ATV starts. I kind of doubt it, but I'm gonna give it a go. Ooh, almost. Well, it's not happy about it, but it runs.
Well, it is just past 8 a.m. and we are gonna head down to the post office, check for packages, and then also grab some water. It may not be the biggest, fanciest log cabin in the world, but it is home. Until we get our well hooked up in the spring, this is where we're going to be getting our water. And we really don't mind it. We've hauled water for many years, and it really makes you appreciate it and use it wisely.
It's nice to see green things when it's this cold, and the water here is so warm you can still see the plant life underneath it. So it's about 10 a.m. We're finally getting some decent weather. It's about 11 degrees outside. When it starts to get warm like this, you'll start to notice a small game moves around a little bit more. So we're gonna go ahead, take a walk around and see if we can get ourselves lunch. I think I'm gonna take Amy with me today. She tends to be my good luck charm when it comes to bird hunting. She's a mean shot with her little 22, so I'll let her take a crack at it and see if she gets any, because I got skunked the other day when I went.
Ready?
No, they're kind of tricky to spot.
They're kind of tricky to spot.
They kind of blend into the trees.
So the bag limit for us for grouse in our area is 15 per day per person. So we can get quite a few, and there are quite a few, and they are delicious. They are really, really good. They're almost like a mix between chicken and steak. So we're gonna head out, check some trails here, and see if we can get some.
Hopefully we don't see any big critters. It's pretty warm out.
I know.
So we just seen a bird flutter off the trail and go right into that row of trees over there. Yeehaw!
Yay, got one. First grouse of the day. Okay, let's keep going, see if we can get another one.
You gonna eat him for lunch, Lena?
Yeah. They can have that silver one.
How about a grouse grilled cheese? Lots of bunny tracks. Be nice if we saw a bunny.
Yeah, there are lots of bunny tracks.
Wow, it's beautiful out, huh?
Once it hits like 30, it's like spring.
This is the heaviest grouse I ever caught.
Is that lunch?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That was a success. A successful day grouse hunting.
Yay!
Grouse.
Grouse and jelly.
Yeah, that sounds kind of good. Oh, good shot, Amy.
Thank you.
I'm gonna run outside, start processing this bird out, and Amy's gonna start making some bread, and we think we're gonna do some grouse grilled cheese.
Dennis went ahead and butchered this for me. I'm gonna clean up this breast meat, and then I'm going to throw it in a Ziploc bag while my sourdough bakes, and then we'll make some grilled cheeses with it.
So we've had a trip planned across the interior of Alaska. Unfortunately, right before we left, the front main seal and the car's engine started leaking oil, so I'm just not comfortable driving up there like that, and it's a little beyond the scope of what I can do here in the driveway. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to go to Anchorage. I figure while I'm down there, I might as well bring my little trailer with me, and I can stop at Home Depot and pick up some building materials, and maybe when I get back, I'll build a little more sophisticated woodshed and maybe a shelf for some of Amy's canned goods. So I'm gonna go start digging the trailer out now. I started it last night, so it should start. Ooh. So I'm going to take advantage of some of this nice weather, and I'm going to go ahead and go under the house and add myself an outlet and a light switch for the motion sensor light here. Here goes nothing. We'll see what happens. I wish I left more on that. I might have to move this box back this way a little bit. This is gonna turn into a much longer project than I wanted it to. It's always one. The grounds go in this guy here. Trim him back a little. Our grounds, nice and neat. Peel back the neutral, the hot wire. This is a neutral wire. It's gonna go right in there, so that's a nice easy one. There's our neutral, and now our hot wire. All hooked up, we're all set. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yay! They're grippy?
Got my pants wet, but
Beautiful. One really yummy thing with this blueberry syrup is just to mix it with some water and apple cider vinegar. So we are gonna cook up this grouse. We're gonna do some caramelized onions, blueberry jam, grilled cheeses with it. And it was so beautiful, we thought we'd do it outside. All right, I'm gonna chuck this grouse on. I rushed this slow. Little one for Lena.
The valley.
We're gonna go ahead and open one of our blueberry jams. There we go. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jammed up really good. A little bit of a squish down, you know? Just squish it a little smush.
First bite.
This is our grouse grilled cheese. This is the best grilled cheese I have ever had, honestly. Honestly, this wins everything. Super good.
That's really good. Dip some more jam on it.